You can clap now. Just an obvious and brief statement. I'll accept no questions. For some of you, things appeared jumbled and kind of freeze-framey, and I apologize for the AV issues there. For others of you who enjoyed 4 adult beverages or more, it played fine. You're a little messed up today, to be honest. And please pull yourself together. So hopefully, even though there were some challenges with that, hopefully you get a sense for what we do. We at Cheddar's build 8,000 square foot restaurants, which almost no one does today. We build freestanding restaurants. They are real restaurants. We've organized our business around the 4 pillars. This is essentially our business model. And I can tell you, our team does a fabulous job delivering on this. So handmade quality food. You know, I got to tell you, just looking at this picture of this chicken tender right here, hand-breaded when you order it. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, if you haven't had this chicken tender, and I don't want to overemphasize or exaggerate to make my point, it will change your life. It will change your life. That chicken tender right there. Handmade quality food. We make it scratch. We make it in restaurant every day, fresh for our guests, and we make it when they order it. Does that sound appealing to you in a restaurant? You can clap. You need to clap if that's... And I'm assuming for the rest of you, you enjoy processed product that is already made and sitting in a bin waiting for you to arrive. Okay, so that's okay too. That's all right. It takes all kinds. We're all friends here. And polished atmosphere. Hopefully some of the things that you picked up on is we're not a chain. We actually don't want to be a chain. I don't like the word chain. I want to operate a great group of restaurants that are real. So you don't see bric-a-brac screwed to the wall. We don't have bicycles and football helmets screwed to the wall. Do some people have that? I don't know. I don't know what is that a good thing? I don't know. But we have this architecture. We bring in 100-year-old plus reclaimed Chicago brick. So by the way, that's a really green thing to do, isn't it? To reuse materials. We bring in that 100-plus-year-old reclaimed Chicago brick, and we build our restaurant with that. We use Austin stone on our tower, our 25, 26-foot tower on the front. We use real materials, things that you would want in your home, things like granite and glass and fire and water. These are all really cool things, right? And it's a place that you're comfortable being. And real relationships. This is something, and I'll be honest, this is the one that I know we need to work at so much. There's so much room, so much opportunity to get better and better and better at real relationships. That's that service component. That's the how do people feel when they come and either work with us or join us for a meal. I was out at our Fairview Heights restaurant last night for a couple hours with our great team there. Oh my goodness, we have a great team, 6 amazing managers, about 175 amazing employees. They're doing an amazing thing. I was feeling last night the pillar real relationships in Fairview Heights, Cheddar's last night, so kudos to them. But that feel, that relationship, that service, that hospitality component is one of our 4 pillars. And then last, explicit value pricing. Now, by the way, I noticed that as we were showing the video / what turned into a photo montage, due to some amazing pause technology that we just developed on the fly, it did pause on that big Texas margarita for $3.75. And I'm like, how appropriate, right? And all of a sudden, the people from Marriott are like, okay, we'll stay another day. Okay, how far is that restaurant? Okay, 14.2 miles to Fairview Heights. We'll do it. But explicit value pricing, we want to do all of the things that we do, and then we want to wow you by dropping the check and having it be a little bit of a reverse sticker shock. Oh my God, unbelievable. Our check is lower than all of our competitors. So in casual dining, who do you think has the lowest check? Well, before I told you that, I don't know. I mean, you're like, hey, I'm cool. This is a test, and he just told us the answer. This is like better than open book. I'm going to bring this to my classroom, right? Besides Cheddar's, who has the lowest check? I heard Applebee's, right? Our check is about 20% lower than Applebee's. 20% lower than Applebee's. So you may say, well, okay, this sounds great. How do you do it, and how long are you going to stay in business, right? I mean, okay, well, we don't advertise. So unlike some of the national chain players who spend $100 and $200 million a year, so for anyone that takes out their iPhone, take the $200 million, that's what one of our competitors spend on a single brand, national media, divide that by the number of restaurants that they operate. Let's just say 700. I'm thinking of somebody in particular. And then you divide that by the number of guests that they do on a regular basis. We'll call it 7,000, 6,000, something like that. And that's how much per plate they have to charge you to do that media to stay even with our model. It's a big number, by the way. So this pillar, the 4 pillars, how we've organized our business, handmade quality food, polished atmosphere, real relationships, and explicit value pricing, helps to deliver and organize our model. This is how we plan our business. And by the way, we're not going anywhere. We've been in business with this model for over 30 years. We started in Arlington, Texas in 1979. So the model works. We have no problem with the model. The model works. It's a great business model. It's a great brand model out of everything that I've done in my career. But then we have to deliver it, right? It's just like you. You guys have a plan for each of your departments, each of your universities, each of your classrooms, or your office, your group, your team. You all have to have a plan and organize it in a way that sets up the key areas of your business, and then that's what you march to. And that's how you make decisions. So everybody here has a plan, right? This is the interactive portion of my program. Yeah, that's not going away, that interactive thing. But you have a plan? I mean, my goodness, have a plan. I mean, you know what? We ought to break right now because we got a half hour. You guys can knock out a plan. Because it's not worth it if you don't have a plan. Have a plan for yourself, your life, your ambition, and then for your team, your group. Have a plan. We have a plan. Our plan is our model. Our business model is communicated and held close to us with our 4 pillars. That's our plan. That's our model. Every year when we sit down and talk about our annual, our goals, our ambitions, our needs, our infrastructure, we always go back to the 4 pillars and say, how is it going to help? Is it going to help to fortify the pillars? So have a plan. But now you need people. Now you need people to not only just be there and suck oxygen out of your room, which are represented by the seats that are not filled today. They're back at their room going, oh man. Whew. So you have to have people, and then you have to have them moving in the right direction and motivated. And that's really what igniting the leadership fire is all about. I wanted to share a couple things. Well, I'm going to start with our values. So these are the 5 values that we have outlined as being critically valuable for everyone that works at Cheddar's, whether it's myself, whether it's a dishwasher, one of our culinary team members, a host, our service team, etc. These are our 5 values. I'm going to talk about one of these values. Next, I'm going to talk about what we call our special approach. There are 5 of those. I'm going to talk about 2 of those. And then we have our leadership model. And I'm going to talk about 5 things on there. So we have 8 items we're going to talk about. I've only selected items that I think pertain to you in this group. Now, in some way, I can connect the dots to all of them. I get that. I told you I'm not smart, but I'm pretty fast, so I can get that. But really what I'm interested is connecting and challenging and giving you something to think about your group. So though I'm talking about Cheddar's, which I love and adore and I'm honored to be a part of, you probably feel that same way about where you're at and what you're doing. That's what we're trying to get at today when we talk about igniting the leadership fire. You touch people. So when's the last time you made the barista at Starbucks feel great? We're in the hospital. Yeah, somebody yesterday, of course, yeah. Woo, yeah. I tend to kind of be that way, so I'm with you, I get that. But, that's what it's about. I think that's what's life about. But here are people who are directed to you. And if you're at a university, think of the mom and dad that said okay to their kid to send them to your institution. Oh my. You have this opportunity in front of you. And I don't care if it's passing a student in the hallway or a person that's in your program or out of your program, or maybe it's a professor that you're trying to take along. It is about igniting that leadership fire. I'm going to start by sharing one of our values, and that is passion. I can tell you this, there is a high correlation in my mind with passion and success. Anyone agree? So I've run restaurants all over the country. I've managed restaurants in almost every state of the contiguous United States. I've run almost 700 Red Lobsters, head of operations. I've run 100 Olive Gardens. I've been a division vice president, a senior vice president, executive vice president. I might be forgetting one there. I've been a busser. I've been a manager. I've been a bartender, a cook. I've seen people win and lose in the restaurant business, which is what you're preparing people for. Restaurant, hospitality, hotel, tourism, event planning. Everybody wants event planning. I'm not sure I get that, but that's cool. I get it. There must have been like some sitcom or something where, maybe Jerry Seinfeld was an event planner and everybody's going, that was really cool. He didn't do anything. I don't know. But, it's all of these things. It touches everyone, doesn't it? Thank you very much. Give it up, okay. What I've seen in my experience is passion matters. Without it, you lose. I don't care about the academic underpinnings. I don't care about the GPA. If you are not with a level of excitement for what you do, it is not going to cause you to fly. And that's really what igniting that fire is. It's not just getting through or even being successful. It's about reaching your potential. That is the fire. You're reaching that potential. Now, I may be at my potential today, but I'm going to keep pushing it every second because I have an excitement for what I do. That is passion. So I want you to think about what you do, your world, your life every day. And by the way, I'm glad you do what you do. I mean, we got so many great programs represented at this conference. I'd love to name them all, but there's so many great programs. I had the opportunity to spend time with Dean Bowen out at the University of Houston. And I got to tell you, Dean, unbelievable passion with the students. These students engaged at a level that I was absolutely blown away by. I believe in that example, it's because of Dean Bowen. When he walks the halls, everybody knows him. They're aligned around him. They know what the program is supposed to give them, and they reach for it. Passion is going to help. If you have this level of passion today for your university, for your program, for your function, for your student, for your faculty, take it to here. That's all I want you to do is think about that gap, that level of gestalt that lies between here and here in passion, and ignite it. Find a way to take it higher. And it always starts with each of us. I've seen people win on passion alone. I'm guessing to a certain degree, I've won to get to where I am today because of passion. I believe. And passion is one of our values. We can't hire people without passion. Now, they may not be a 20-year Cheddar person or a 6-year Cheddar's person like me, but boy, when there's alignment around what you believe in and you say, yes, this is it. This is all about passion. So do we have passion? We don't need to cover that anymore. We have it? Should we close it out? Yes? Okay. All right. So you can see I'm kind of fired up about this. Next is our special approach. If you think of core values is what's at our core, then our special approach is how we activate, right? It's at the core to be there. You need to have the 5 core values to be an active, successful member at the Cheddar's team. It has to be there. Then you have to find a way to activate. We call that our special approach. 5 items as part of our special approach. 5 items. We're going to talk about 2 because I think there's a very direct parallel here. And I'm going to start with positive attitude. Now, passion is that excitement for what you do, right? It's, I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about this. And you can substantiate it. It's not just a catchphrase. That's not what we're talking about. It's that your behaviors are there. I'm passionate. By the way, I'm passionate about being a husband. How many husbands out here are passionate about being a husband? I got a guy like here going, I saw it's videotape. My wife might get a copy, YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a passionate husband. Listen, I'm so passionate about being a husband. I've been married for 17 years, a beautiful lady, Jane. She is unbelievable, but I married up. Okay? Anybody? Nobody else here married up? Oh, yeah, this other guy's like, yeah, okay. Video's still rolling, I'm married up. Listen, I'm married, now this is true. I'm married so up that every night when I go home, this is what it looks like. If you'll indulge me just for a minute. This is not part of the speech, but this is what it looks like. And I have a key, so... Jane? Kids? Sophie? Austin? Jane? And then she's like, yeah, honey, what are you yelling about? Oh, it's like, oh, you're here. Woo! Woo! Wow. I'm married so up, I expect all of my stuff to be on the street every night. And when I don't see my stuff out there, I'm like, oh, shit, I hope they're not all out and they just left it, man. They're gone. I'm checking suitcases. Oh, my God, they're still here. But listen, man, I believe that. That's not, listen, it's one thing to say it and it's another thing to actually align behaviors around it. It's unbelievable that my wife, Jane, and my kids are so, oh my God, they think I'm cool. And by the way, we have some young people here, they're like, yeah, he's not. And by the way, neither are my parents, right? I hear you. You'll go through that. Most grow out of it, some don't. But that passion really moves into that positive attitude. It's the orientation that you put around the things that you do. You be positive. And by the way, as chairman CEO, I have to be careful about being positive. Maybe as a dean, maybe as a department head, you need to be careful too. So maybe if they're like, well, wait a second, this person is all about positive, they don't want to hear the hard facts. They don't want the truth. They're not willing to allow me to be the contrarian. So that's the watch out. But you know what? I want all of that. But listen, you know what? You know when you test a positive attitude, it's when bad things happen. When bad shit happens, that is the test of your attitude, isn't it? When everything is going great, it is so easy to be, yeah, man, it's awesome. How's everything at Cheddar's? Woo! Yeah! Woo! But then you're faced with hard things that happen. Anybody face adversity in life? Anyone? We all face adversity. When things do not go according to the best laid plans, that is the test of your attitude. Now for me, and by the way, everyone's different, I actually have to go through a process every day where I dial it in and I choose it. It's something that I have done for many, many years. I think about my state when my feet hit the floor. I think about my state when my feet hit the floor from the corner of the bed, and I choose a positive orientation to how I'm going to approach things. Because if I don't do that, and this has happened to all of us, we all have our demons, we all have our challenges, but all of a sudden, I'm sitting in traffic and this nut job in front of me is like, swerving all around. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, really, is it a big deal? I mean, the nut job's still going to be there, right? But it's really how I process it, right? It's how I take it in. It's how I internalize. It's not just about what comes out of my mouth, but it's how I'm internalizing it. So when I think of our business and I think of my career, I've seen positive attitude, positive orientation, willing to take the hard facts, but always looking at where are we going. I understand A, B, C happen. They're all bad. Got it. Where are we going? How are we going to address A, B, C and get out of here? Because we have an outlined plan. We have a journey. Here's where we're going. Bad things will happen. Adversity will strike. One's character is defined, as is one's attitude defined when adversity strikes. I strongly suggest you select a positive attitude for what you do with your team and your students. Can we move on, please? Can we? I need to hear you.